Hey everybody, get this working here. This is Lee. We're going live, Play Guitar Podcast Hangout today. Let's see here. Let me find out if I've got everything running correctly. I think I do. So what we're doing is today at 4 o'clock, we're going to be going through what happened in the podcast. At the beginning of each month, we're going to be having some guitar, guitar licks that we're going to go through, different styles, different things that we're working on. And to have the visual part of it, we're going to go ahead and on Wednesday, after everything's open, and the podcast is out, we're going to get together at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Wednesdays, going through the licks, talking about the podcast, talking to you guys, seeing what's going on. Let's see who we got here. Kevin's here. We'll have to jump off soon. We'll be back. That's great. Well, thanks for hanging out, Kevin. That's awesome, man. David's here. What's up? What up? What's up, David? How you doing? So there's Evan's here. Evan says, love the licks in the podcast. Looking forward to this. Thank you, Evan. Yeah, I worked on them. Tried to have a little bit for everybody in there. Some stuff that it turned out the first ones were I wanted to do the straight beat licks all in a row. So the easier ones came out to the end. That wasn't the greatest, but there's some good licks. I've got them all. Let's see here, all loaded up here. Let's make sure my background track's working. I'm just gonna do a little test here. Yeah, it is. Okay, so I think we're all set. We're gonna give a few minutes to get a few more people coming in. How's holidays going for everybody? We have been tearing into the gingerbread house here. The gingerbread house did not make it. We actually have another one, and I doubt that one would make it to Thursday, but or Friday. Friday's the 25th, I think. Let's check here. Friday is the 25th. Yes. So we're going. We've been enjoying the gingerbread house and partying up, man. We're having a great holiday week. I hope you guys are having a great holiday week too. Let's see here. David's here. Hey David, good to see you, man. Hope everything's going good. Let's see here. So we've got a good group of people to start off so far. Should be tuned up. I had tuned up this morning. It should still. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get set up here. Chris is here. What's right? Hey Chris, great to have you here, man. So we got a little bit earlier for people in the UK this week. And Dean is here. Great to see you, Dean. Dean, I did get your message. I just haven't had a chance to sit down and get back to you, but I will by the end of the day. So let's take a look at these licks here. Here's the 5 licks. Lick number 1. We've got, it's kind of a, okay. So this to me was kind of a Hendrixy. If you can take a look here, we have 8, which is right where pattern 1 sits there, your first finger. So I'm just hitting the tonic note right away. Then we're going to go across, go up the A string. All right. So the hardest part with this first part of the lick right here, if you see, is this rest here. So boom, 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 there's a hesitation between 8 and 10. So if you guys got your guitars, we're going to hit the 8th fret, the C on the low E string, and then we're going to play 8, 9, 10 on the A string quickly. So it's just basically a bunch of hammer-ons. I pick the first note, I pick the 8, and then we have a 10 on the A string, an 8 on the G string, and then we follow up with the 10 on the D string. So it's not a lick that's meant to be played super clean. I have a lot of pick raking in there, a lot of bluesier vibrato, actually pulling it out of tune a little bit towards the major third right there. So that's the first measure of this one. Now we're going to go take a look at measure number 2. So let's take a look here. Measure number 2. We start off with the same note, the root, the tonic, and then we've got some bluesy double stops, and it looks easy because you got 10 and 10 together, 11 and 11 together, 10 and 10 together, but the inclusion of the A, the 6, gives this real Dorian kind of it's a very Southern rock sound to me. It's a jazzier kind of sound. What we're going to do is take that Southern rock sound. Now you can bend it if you'd like. I didn't write it that way. I wrote it. So we're going 10, 10, 11, 11, 10, 10, 8 on the G string, 10 on the D string, 8 on the G string, 10 on the D string. So we're back and forth. So the whole thing up to this point. Measure 3. So here we go in measure 3. 8. Same exact thing as the first one. Except for the last note on measure 3. Instead of going to the tonic, we're setting up a line here. So we have 8 and then 10 on the G string. And that's going to take us right to our blue note, the flat 5 or the sharp 4. So we're going to take our minor pentatonic and add this note, the 11th fret on the G string. 11 to 8 on the B, 2 times. 11, 10, 8, 10, right? I like that. And then we've got our last kind of stepping outside of the blue of the regular minor pentatonic, and we're going to do a minor third to a major third. Very, Johnny B. Good sounding a little bit. There we go, right there. Perfectly matching the 7th chord. And then we hit another flat 5, another blue note. And I slid back for this minor third here, but you could use your pinky. You could use your pinky there. I just find it's easier just to slide back into the position beforehand and grab that. So here's the lick. I'm going to go ahead and put the background track on a little bit and see if I can get the volumes right. And let's go ahead and play this. Okay, let's move on to our next. Let's see here. Let's move on to the next one. Pause this real quick. So lick 2, we're coming at this from a whole different idea. Whoa. I almost lost it there. Hey, Coke's here. Good to see you, Coke. And David's been... working on his E-blues boogie patterns. That's awesome. Coke says, this Hangout is exactly what I should be working on and still struggling for motivation today. It's working through a fingerstyle song a little bit. Well, we're glad you're here, man. Let's have some fun with this stuff. Okay, so lick 2. Let's take a look at lick 2. So lick 2, we're starting at the 10th fret. And we're doing a major pentatonic lick. This whole first measure is major pentatonic. And then the whole second part is minor pentatonic. So we're showing how in the middle of a blues over a regular old 7th chord, you can play your major pentatonics and minor pentatonics. And they should work out pretty good. Sometimes I've heard it, when people start first trying to mix those together, it doesn't sound as tight as it should. But here I separated them by the measure. I didn't really try to do anything really fancy. I just did one measure major pentatonic, one measure minor pentatonic. So let's go ahead and check this one out here. So we've got... There we go. So we have 10, which is the root note, tonic note. And there's our passing notes for major pentatonic between the second and the major third. So it's second, minor third, major third, right? Then straight up the major pentatonic scale. And then a bend on the 10th fret, which is the second of major pentatonic. And not bending all the way up, just a half step, kind of to that minor third, which is bringing up where I'm heading. So I'm bending up to the minor third, and then on the second measure, right here, I go back into our pattern 1 minor pentatonic. I did a little slide to the flat 5, to the blue note right there. So I'm going to go ahead and try and play those over top of the background track. So now we've got that with the same background track. Let's talk about what the bass notes are. So the 3 notes that the bass is playing is the root, the C, the 5th, and the flat 7th. So it's not even playing the 3rd, it's just playing this sound plus the 5th, which is, you can take or leave the 5th, right? So that leaves that 3rd, which tells us whether it's happy or sad, major or minor. It's not even in the bass line, so we can interpret this pretty much the way we want. So here we go. Yes, so what we're doing is playing off that happy and sad thing, and actually the first part, by hitting the strong note of the chord of our third of the chord really outlines the chord nicely, and then we hit the minor right there. So I could take that same idea and not even use this lick. Just say, okay, major pentatonic, right? I did it with two measures. So here's a measure of so there was several licks, weren't the same thing. What wasn't the same thing that I played, but took the same idea and just kept expounding on it. Major pentatonic to minor pentatonic, back and forth. And that leads us to lick number 3, which is a really neat lick here. So lick number 3, we've got a slide up to 14. So 14 on the G string, and that brings us, we use our second finger, that brings us to using our first finger on the tonic note. Already, we're in B.B. King, right? This is what I talked about on the podcast, the B.B. King box. You'd hear him. Let's see here. A lot of B.B. King's blues are really fast. He plays in that style a whole lot, and it revolves around whenever you have your first finger on the tonic note of whatever key you're playing in. 1, 3, and then 1, 3 on the B string, 1, 3, and then the high E string, 1, 3, and you got bending notes. It's all in major, and it sounds nice. And you can actually get into it by a 14th by the note in between those two frets on the G string. It's really simple to play. It's used by everybody. And what I did is I kind of took it one step further. I went farther. I went from 13, where you would think, okay, well, I'm going to hit the next note I would hit in the key of C would be the 15th fret, which is the D, the second. But I didn't. I went to the minor third and gave it a really good minor pentatonic sounding bend. And right back into major. So I went back into the 13, 15, 13, 15s right there. So minor, major. Then on the next measure, we've got our 15th fret full bend. My screen's getting a little dark here. I'm going to fix this just while so when I go back to the guitar, it'll be easier to see. Let's see if that helps. Helped a little bit. Okay. So we're in the second, the second full measure of lick 3. So this is all B.B. King. This is a big bend on 15 on the high E string and a big bend on 15 on the B string too. Third measure. Same as the first measure. And then we end off with a little lick. So we combine the two. So we've got, we come into it major, 14 on the G string to 13 to the strong note, and we finish off with two bends. The 16th fret, which is our minor pentatonic bend, and then on the 15th fret, but with a half step bend. Kind of going up to that minor third from the second. So we're combining that major pentatonic, minor pentatonic thing right at the end. I'm going to go ahead and play this. All right, so let's see here. 1, 2, 3. All right, one more time through. I'm going to try and get the rhythm correct on the last one. I'm kind of hesitating there. That's not how I wrote it. 1, 2, ready, go. That was it. Okay, so same bass line, same background track, 3 different licks, completely different sound on all of them. We had the first one, which is a real rockin' kind of right, and then we had our mixing. That style, and then our last one was our BBQ. So just by taking some really easy ideas, but thinking ahead of time, really giving them their place to shine in these different styles of music kind of helps. Dean says that backing track available. Yes. So if you've signed up for the free blues course, which I think you have, if you go to your library in Play Guitar Academy, it'll say get your blues under control. I put everything in that. So if you go to scroll down to the bottom past the courses, it'll say free licks, and you'll have this page on that main page, but you can also download the PDF in case you want to zoom in more. And then you'll also have both of the background tracks I use, plus the podcast. And I'm also going to put a link to this YouTube video on there when we're finished. And then you can download all of those, but at the bottom of the page, there's a player, kind of like in the other lessons too. So you can just play them straight from the page if you want to practice. Okay, let's see here. The cool kids are on YouTube. Yeah, man, that's right. I don't know about that, but we're thanks, Kevin. It was fun to do. And we're gonna do this every month. Next week's gonna be neat. I've got a lot of changes coming up. Good stuff. It may have been stuff in the past we experimented with, but we've got to have a new monthly schedule for some neat things, and this is kind of the first, a little putting the toes in the water for this one, but neat stuff's coming up too. So Dean says cool. Thanks, Dean. Yes, I've got the 80 and the 60 beats per minute ones. Those are the ones that I used on the show. I do have some other speeds too. So let me know if you would like to be able to practice it at different speeds. I can put some other ones up there as well. Okay, so what did we get through? We got through 1, 2, and 3. Everything's working out, settling in now. Okay, so now if you see here, we've got 12/8. What does that mean? Who can tell me what 12/8 right here means? Very interested to see if that everything we've been playing before was in 4/4, which means 4 beats per measure and a quarter note gets the beat, right? Just a standard way of writing rhythms. But now we've got a whole different thing going on. 12/8. Who knows? Who can give a guess about 12/8? Okay. So while I'm going to get this, I'm going to get the background track set up here. Okay, so this was our slower one. This one is the 60 beats per minute. You can already tell the difference in the feel, right? The last track was straight ahead. This one is in threes, right? So basically, what the 12/8 means is there's 12 beats in the measure, and each one of those beats gets an eighth note. So you see how it's written: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, in groups of threes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So if it was counted like 4/4, you'd have 3 beats in between each measure. It gives it a swing feel, and that's what most of these swing blues things you're going to see written in 12/8. Let's take a look here. I'm going to go through it first before we play it with the track. Okay, so for lick 4, if you put your first finger on the 11th fret and second finger on the 12th fret, now you can play them, let's see here. You can play them with a pick. I'm sliding them both in. If you go to pattern 1, where your pinky is on the B string, that's where the first finger is, right here. And the 12th fret is the same as what your first finger would be on the B string. So we're kind of taking the 2 notes from the B string and the minor pentatonic and playing them at the same time, revoicing them so that you play them at the same time. And I like to play with the pick and fingers, 1 for each string. So we've got this. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And now at this point, I'm going to tuck my 3rd finger under. And once I do that, you see the shape. It's like the D7. And this is the chord Eric Clapton loves to play in blues. Happens to be a C7 chord, which is the chord from the song. So we start off with just kind of a minor pentatonic, and then it morphs into a full chord for one time through for 3 strums. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we jump up. Straight old C minor pentatonic. And I just had to go back to the tonic, but my ear also wants it. I like that. I like to have it on the minor 3rd on the 16th fret on a bend, but I didn't write it that way. Not too tough. I'm also doing a rake. Puts us right in B.B. King box right there, so we could even do a little bit of that. And it's a shorter lick this time. Let's go ahead and hit the background tracks. All right, here we go. Oh, ready, go. So I'm just playing back and forth. I'm taking the same idea. There we go. Taking the same idea of the going from the double stop to the full chord. Even a lot of the times I'll start here, but then I'll make a little something up right on the last measure. And it sounds nice. It's that repetition really sounds bluesy, but then adding a little something different at the end is really, really different thing too. So, okay. Oh, Kevin's back. Fully engaged now. Awesome. Okay, cool. And all right, so let's take a look at the last lick. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this out. This one's more of a traditional minor pentatonic. This was one I want to make sure everybody had something that they could really have some fun with here. So basically, this is a pattern 1 in C. We're gonna take the 10th fret on the G string. We're doing the bend on the 10, and then we're barring the 8th fret on the high D, on high G, high E and B string. All right, so we have, so right up to the highest note in this pattern. We're just doing the high notes here. We have 11, 8, and then on the B string, 11, then back up to the tonic note. Then we have 11 on the B, 8 on the B, 10, 8. So far it's just the notes from the pentatonic pattern, but what I do is I slide, we go up to the 12th fret. This is what makes it a little bit different. Instead of grabbing it in position, we slide up to the next for that 12. Let's see here. All right, so let's put a little music with that, see what happens. Ready? Okay, so I just kind of combine those two a little bit, two very different ideas, same background track, same scales, same mixing around with the different ideas. So I hope that with some of these licks, it gives you some ideas of things that you can do to get out of standard just going up and down the scales. Seeing some of the things that I was doing to get sounds that match the chord completely, or sounds that intentionally go away from the chord to create tension and then come back. They're really simple things. Minor third to major third, using a little bit of a Dorian thing, the flat 5, the blues scale, and yeah, and really it's just those three things. And I also did a little bit of matching the chord but offsetting it with a double stop there. So there was a question about, can you explain that rake? Okay, and Coach says you just kind of flub across multiple music streams before, after, or during a targeted specific note rather than specifically you rake across them. He said, I like that one a lot. Yeah, so especially in blues, that kind of using, actually, if you listen to flamenco guitar a lot, they do the same thing. They take the noises of the guitar and they use them to your advantage, right? Mm-hmm. So what are the noises that come out on the guitar anyway, whether you want them to or not? Or you've got string noise, right? That's going to happen anytime you move on a wound string. You got string noise. Well, you can get rid of it. You can mute above the pickups. If you hear that, if I mute behind them, you can hear that, right? So there's things that you can do to get rid of these sounds, but why get rid of them? These sounds, all these stranger sounds of the guitar, they're great. They make the guitar sound. It doesn't sound like somebody pressing a keyboard, patch of a guitar. There's things going on here. So we've got 5 other. If you're going to play the high string, you've got 5 other strings to use, and what you can end up doing is bringing attention to a certain note and not other ones. So it's almost like a blues singer putting rasp in their voice when they go for a certain note. But you have to be careful. Like right there, the first time I did it, I accidentally muted the note because you're having to use this part of your hand to control all of these strings so they don't ring out. If I raked this note without muting, terrible, right? Not the greatest. Okay, so. Just like playing slide and just like anything, playing chords where you don't want to hit the low string, the notes that you don't hear are just as important as the notes that you do. I really want to do a whole slide thing. I played a lot of slide and it's a lot of fun. Okay, I'm going to go into the chat here. If you guys have any questions about this, let me know. I went through each one of them. I tried to show you how I play them, and hopefully it's a little bit easier than looking off the page. But if you do have any questions about these, let me know. Chris says, enjoyed those licks. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. And I'm literally still jamming away at the first part of the first lick. Good. That's good. That's good. Chris says, I like the tasty major start to lick 2. I think it was. Let's see here, lick 2. Yep. Yeah, it's when you just adding, if you just did straight major pentatonic, it doesn't do the same thing. It doesn't have that kind of... Adding that minor third in there, and that kind of, call it the major pentatonic blue note, because the patterns look the same as the minor pentatonic. Yeah, I like the bends on that too, going back and forth between a major bend and a minor bend. Chris says, don't forget to give the video a like. Thank you, Chris. Please, we're going to start doing these all the time. We're going to start trying to get YouTube caught up to the podcast, if that's possible to do. I'm going to start probably more the first of the year, really focusing now on getting all this video editing done. And once that's done, we're going to be doing this all the time. We'll be doing it at different times of the day, trying to really get this moving forward. I think this next year is going to be be the one where things kind of break some doors down. So, and Dean says we're very close to 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, that's the big one. 1,000 is the first, not the big one, but the first step on YouTube that they start paying attention to you. So we're kind of close to that. And we also got to get, there's another thing with YouTube, before you get to partner with them, so you have to have a certain amount of watch time. And that will come too with all of our live streams. So looking forward to YouTube doing a little bit better in the future. Thank you, David. It's great to see you. I hope everybody's doing good over there. I know you guys had another lockdown. I hope everybody's, being patient, hanging in there a little bit. Let's see here. Have I missed anybody? Did anybody ask any questions or anything? I was paying attention to the licks. I missed a bunch of stuff. I'm just going back through right now. Evan was here. I missed that. Hey, Evan. Good to see you, man. Let's see here. Just checking. There's David. Hey, David. I know you're having a nice day today. I didn't get to go outside, but it looked very nice out there. Very nice. Okay, guys. Well, that's the plan for today. That's everything I was hoping to do. We're going to make this a monthly thing. First week of each month, starting, I'm going to do another one of these in January. So in 2 weeks, we'll do this again. We'll start it off. We're going to have different types of licks each month, give you something to work on, give you a free download. And let's see. What I might do for coaching students, I can get a link straight to the page and put it up in the coaching section too. So I'll do that tonight. I think make it easy for you. So Dave, nice and warm today. It looks nice and warm. I'm gonna go ahead and get out there in a few minutes. Not gonna be nice and warm tomorrow, from what I understand though. Okay. And Evan, cool licks will have to work into improv. Yeah, let's feel free in the Facebook group to work on these a little bit. Maybe play a couple of them, post them up on the Facebook group, and do a little improv around them too. Maybe we could make something out of it. I think that would be pretty neat. I'm planning on, my attention's been focused on this academy, and as soon as that's done, I'm going to be back in the group a lot more like I was before. I'm really kind of missing it, so haven't had a whole lot of time. Okay. All right. So David says, all sounds so cool and need an after Christmas. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I got my my boss, what was it, the SD1. I know it's sitting in the package outside there. I can't get to it till Friday. It's driving me nuts. But that's going to be something we'll do in the next couple of weeks. That's a neat pedal. It's cheap, and you guys listen to Zach Wilde a good bit. That sound that he gets when he mixes the EMGs, the active pickups, with the SD in front of just a Marshall is just ridiculous. That's a really, really neat pedal, and you've heard it so many times. It does something. It's they market the SD1 as kind of like a tube screamer, but it's not. It's different. It's very different. It does some neat things, and I'm curious. I've got two different Marshalls. I've got the Vintage Modern, which has got the KT66 tubes in it, so it's a glassier kind of Marshall, and then I've got the DSL50, which is got the EL34s in it. Both have a very different sound. I'm really curious how that pedal is going to react to both of those amps. So I'm going to have some fun with that pretty soon. Okay. Oh, David said what David said. Durham is supposed to be. Oh no, goodness gracious! I'm sorry. That's not fun. That's not fun at all. I know my folks. I got the text pictures of the house I grew up in Delaware. It's snow everywhere. so so probably melted by now. Evan's close up there, and I'm sure things have warmed up a little bit there. And Ludwig says, I don't play blues anymore. It makes me depressed. Now I play classical and rock. But let me tell you something, man. When I started off playing, I played rock. That's all I played. And then in school, I got into jazz. And so I was doing jazz. It wasn't really the kind of music I like to play. But the I don't know, just the things I learned from jazz, I started applying to some of the music that I was playing, some of the rock music I was playing. So then I started thinking, okay, well, if I'm learning jazz and I want to play rock and I'm getting stuff from this music that really has nothing to do with it, but it's helping me understand music more. What if I really went to the music that the people who were playing rock, who listened to and came up with it, what were they listening to? The people who really got into rock and really started out. What was the music they were listening to? And that was blues. And once I started learning blues, it made everything make sense. It made, from the most basic things, like, why is everything 8 bars or 12 bars? You know, why are the forms of songs, these rock songs, why are they the way they are? And I started seeing the progression from blues to rock, and it started making, so even if you might not like blues, even if it makes you depressed, you might want to take a look at it, and it's going to really make rock. Now, it doesn't really have anything to do with classical music, and that's fine that you like that. That's awesome. But for your rock stuff, man, I'll tell you what, if you understand how blues works, it makes everything else make sense. But hey, I'll give you a thumbs up anyway. I appreciate the thumbs up, man. Thanks for hanging out with us, Ludwig. I appreciate it. And let's see here. Coke says, what? The blues are for fighting depression through expression. When I got out of college and I was out there playing, and there wasn't jazz gigs to play, but there was tons of blues gigs, right? So that's kind of how I got into blues after that. And when you see the people who are out there drinking and listening to blues, there's not a sad person in the whole place. I think maybe some of the more jump blues, up blues, there's some stuff that you probably would like if you give it a chance here. Let's see here. Evan says supposed to be close to 60 tomorrow in Delaware Valley. Awesome. You guys deserve a break. Dave says, wasn't Van Halen influenced? His dad was a jazz clarinet player. Exactly. In fact, that's how I think I just saw a whole thing on Van Halen. They all went to America. He had a gig and then lost the gig when he got there. Something like that. So. And Coke says, true, I'm forcing myself to learn blues licks to apply to funk guitar. Yeah, funk comes directly out of blues. It's good stuff. So it's like 30 degrees. So not like we can, 30 degrees Fahrenheit, -1. Yeah, it's not like we can go anywhere, Dave. Ugh, man. I know, man. Just we need to get those tiers lower, right? Get out there and do some stuff. But, I guess we're all getting conditioned to staying home. We've been going out. It's been nice here. And there's a lot of things that you can do outside. You can eat outside here. So we've been going out and doing stuff a lot. And then you start to think, well, gosh, for like 7 months, we didn't even leave the house, And you start to feel like, oh, I'm doing too much. I'm outside. there's some sort of weird conditioning going on here that I'm not down with. Dave says I'm going to work anyway. And for your funk stuff, yeah, just have to change the timing feel. Yep. Lovely's still here. He says, yes, the guitar is an amazing instrument. I'm still learning new chords and how to play different styles like reggae, rock, blues, all great stuff. Yeah, man, just don't close yourself off to anything. You can learn stuff from all sorts of different music. And even if at first it kind of turns you off, maybe like blues did there. Talk yourself into looking deeper into it. Find some of the music that you do like and find out, well, what are the people who are playing that music and creating that music? What did they listen to? And you might find the good stuff. There's good music and bad music in every style of music. Every style. Even, pop music, there's good pop music and bad pop music. And depending on who you are, there's more good than bad. But don't close yourself off to anything. You can learn so much from different styles of music. David says, live music needs to come back. It does. It do. I want to start playing live. That's one of the whole reasons about moving here. I wanted to start getting out and playing more. So I'm ready myself. We'll see what happens. Give it a few months. David says, I asked Santa for a new audio interface and SSL too. Very nice. Very nice. Very cool stuff. I'm using this here. I'll show you what I've been using. Is the PreSonus Studio Live AR12. And it has been nice. They have an AR8 too, which I probably could have gotten away with just using the AR8. But doing a lot of different things with this. It's really nice. It really sounds good. It said Sublime, one of my favorite licks to play, blues, rock, and reggae. Cool. Awesome. That's great. I'm glad you're not totally writing it off. And let's see here. Coke says Wisconsin has like 7 months of winter and the pandemic stole our nice months. Yeah, man. I've heard though that I think it was, isn't Kevin in Wisconsin too? Kevin, are you still here? I know you were popping in and out. Let me see back. There's Kevin. I don't know if Kevin's still here or not. Didn't you say last week you guys had a really nice week last week? So let's see here. Dave says that looks pretty cool. Yeah, man, it's rock solid too. I had a smaller PreSonus, one of those audio box things that didn't work at all. It had buzzing in it, and I was almost ready to swear off PreSonus, but I grabbed this and I said, well, I'll use it and I'll give it a month, and if it doesn't work, I'll just send it back. And that was like a year ago or more. So it's rock solid. And also what's cool about it too is if you see right there where it says, I can't turn it around. It says SD. So I can record anything that's coming through the board. Say that there's something cool that's happening on a live stream, or say I'm playing something and I like the way it sounds. I can just reach over and hit record, and it records anything that's going through the faders to a card. So it's actually pretty neat. That's how I was doing when we were doing the live podcast before. How I was transferring it over to my DAW was I was recording everything on there, and that's just the stereo. It doesn't record the separate tracks, but pretty neat stuff. Let's see here. So Bob's here. He says, does the watch time count if I just play all your videos all night while I sleep? I think it does. I don't know. We're gonna get it though. We're gonna get it. We're gonna if you look at YouTube's got a little app, YouTube Studio. I can go back and look at all. When we were doing live streams all the time, our watch time was like through the roof. So I'm just gonna go back to do that. We'll get past 1,000. We'll get on to being on YouTube's good list at that point, and then things should start flowing from there. Okay, everybody, I'm gonna call it in a few minutes. We're getting close to 5 o'clock. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and going through the licks, and looking forward to doing this every month, and looking forward next week to let you guys in on some of the ideas I have for the following year. A lot of really cool stuff coming up. And let's see what else. Just checking my note. And I think that's everything for today. I may pop on during the holiday if I've got some time. I'm not sure. I may just maybe this weekend sometime, just see how you guys are doing, make sure everybody's doing good, something like that, you know. But all right, everybody, I'll see you in a few days. And coaching students, remember there's no coaching this weekend, but we'll get back to it the following weekend. Adios, Coke. See you, David. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Let's see. Thanks to Dean, Chris. Let's see, Kevin and David, both Davids, both Evans, and see if you could give me a like if you could on the way out. I'd appreciate that. All right, everybody. See you soon.